Hello, dear friends, brothers, and sisters. Welcome to the 19th episode in our series of short videos about absolute happiness. So, the title of this 19th video is Trees and Absolute Happiness. So it's quite interesting that you see even trees, you can see some trees behind me. You see how they can lead us to a state of, unconditional happiness and to a state of realizing our true nature. Now look at this very carefully. You see, human beings, all of us are actually alive purely because of trees. So the question will arise, how? You see, look at one thing. This human body is alive because when it is breathing, it is taking in oxygen. Oxygen is the life force for this human body, and carbon dioxide is like death for us. So we give out carbon dioxide and we take in oxygen. And that is how we are alive, right? But where is this oxygen coming from? Look, the source of this oxygen is this process of photosynthesis, which takes place because of the presence of chlorophyll in these green leaves of trees and plants. And that is how during the daytime, you see, especially in the morning time, there is abundant of oxygen coming from trees. And this is the balance. You see, this is the balance in nature, right? We give out carbon dioxide and the trees give us oxygen, and that is how we carry on with our day-to-day life. But do we ever actually look at this? Do we ever actually thank nature? Do we ever actually thank the trees for the beautiful and the wonderful work that they actually do for us? So here is a small exercise, which is an exchange of communication between you and the trees. Choose any good tree, right? And walk up to the tree, and you put your left hand on the tree, and you put your right hand, where your navel is, right? And then this is what you say to the tree. Oh, dear tree, I thank you and all trees from the core of my heart and on behalf of all human beings for the selfless work that you do for us by giving us oxygen and taking in carbon dioxide so that we may carry on with our day-to-day life. Thank you. Thank you. Please send this love to all the trees. Thank you. Thank you. So you see what happens. It is very unusual that, a person called Anil or a person called Tom, or a person called Cynthia, or whatever the name may be. You see, you walk up to the tree and you suddenly start talking to it. So what happens is that you see the tree looks down and it says, oh, what has happened? Suddenly, this human being has come to me and is giving me love and is actually communicating with me. Now, here is the spiritual scientific truth behind this exercise. You see, what happens is that all these trees, every individual species of trees, has got its own soul, what we call as the group soul, right? They have only one group soul, and this group soul is located in what we call as heaven, right? To put it in more conceptual and understanding terms, the group soul of trees is located, between the mental plane and the astral plane. And how does this group soul function? You see, what we call as gods, or what the Hindus call as devas, or what the Christians call as angels, or what we call as the white beings of light, they actually come to the group soul and they help in its functioning. Now what happens when a tree on earth has fulfilled its life, gained the experiences from that lifetime, then it returns back to its group soul. So you see, what happens is that when you actually go to that group soul and you pass on this beautiful message of yours of thanks and love to that tree, not only does that tree communicate that message to all the trees in the world, but your message is also communicated to the group soul. Now you see, when your message reaches the group soul, you see the beings of light which are actually there, they leave their essence behind, right? And this is heavenly essence. This is pure light, full of knowledge and bliss and blessings, right? So what happens is the essence of this light, because your message has been conveyed to that group soul, is actually communicated back to you, to your aura. Because you look at it, you see, one way our thoughts come to us is through our mental body, right, which is within your aura. But here you are communicating with the entities of the mental plane externally through the tree. You thank the tree, that message was conveyed to all the trees, and then to the group soul. So you see, this is how, the trees, just by this simple exercise, bring about peace and happiness in you. And you see, I communicate with nature and I communicate with trees all the time, because I do this exercise at least once, if not twice a day. And you know what the trees, they said to me? They said that, look, as long as we are there, this person called Anil has got nothing to fear. Wherever I may go, whatever I may do, because you see, in truth, I'm more closer to nature. I'm more closer to these trees who give me oxygen, because of which I'm alive, than I am actually to human beings, right? This is just a fact of my own life. Now, I would like to share one more very interesting aspect of these trees with you. You see, we have lived at two places in Australia, a place called Ingleburn, and now we are living in a place called Padstow. It is very easy. Look, if you can find what we call a paper bark tree, right? Find a paper bark tree which has actually got about 5 branches, right? Here I'm showing you this image. This is the image 1 of this paper bark tree with whom I actually communicate. Now it's very interesting. You see, these paper bark trees are wishing trees, and they should have at least 5 branches coming out from the ground, right? Now you put your left hand on it, and you put your right hand on your navel, and you communicate with this paper bark tree. You see, once you develop a rapport, and you're actually able to communicate, you see, if there is any desire within you, if you need anything fulfilled, you can actually communicate with this tree, and this tree will not only help you to fulfill that, but it will actually tell you, look, if you are pure at heart, this paper bark tree will actually tell you whether that wish will be fulfilled or not. Such is the beauty of paper bark trees. And I'm telling you this because I communicate with this particular tree, and everything that it has told me, everything that I've actually communicated with it, because I guide a lot of human beings on their spiritual path, it has always come out to be true. Even when there are difficult times in my own life, it has actually helped me to move forward. So you can try this on your own. Let me show you some more images. This is image 2, you see, of this paper bark tree. Here is another image 3 of the paper bark tree, and this is the last image, image 4. So you see, there is that bridge in this image 4, and there is this paper bark tree which I communicate with. So coming to the end of this episode, please try this out. Please increase your communication with nature. I've already talked about rocks, about a blade of grass, and now I'm talking about trees. You see, start using this exercise, start communicating with these trees, and I promise you that, in less than 7 days, and if you do this for about 21 days, you will feel far more better. That state of unconditional happiness, not depending on your personal desires, will start filtering into you. So with this, we will bring this episode to a close. I hope that it will help you in your spiritual journey towards unconditional happiness. Thank you, and namaskar, and thanks once again for listening.